And hello good people of the internet, it is I, Tommy Kelly, and this is Adventures in Woo Woo. And in this episode I want to talk a bit about my understanding of Peter Kingsley's interpretation of the ancient Greek method of incubation, which is kind of a meditative stillness exercise that I have found particularly helpful. So hello from a very windy Ireland. It's usually a rainy Ireland, but today it's windy. In fact, it was raining for most of the morning, but now it is, it's okay, it's just raining. So I'm back in the DSLR because the microphone that I have for the DSLR has that dead cat thing, or the wind muff. I'm hesitant to use the word muff because in Ireland it has quite naughty connotations. But so hopefully that, because it's windy, that the quality of sound will be better than if I was using the Osmo Pocket. Anyway, where I am is a place called Tullamore, excuse me, and it is, I'm right in this valley, of this lovely valley around mountains that are probably the highest mountains that I am, that are in the area. There is a road, as there always is, just directly the opposite side, because you just can't get away from roads in Ireland and you can't get away from people. I'm having an interesting thing that's going on today. I was doing another video, which was, I was doing the next chapter of A Story Waiting to Appear to You by Peter Kingsley, which is what we're doing as part of the study group over on Patreon. And there was a very Stephen King type moment where there was a bus or a truck driver who was just stopping, revving his engine right beside me. So I was going, oh, here we are, here we're starting. And then, just now, a load of army trucks passed or whatever, and it's like kind of going, I'm in a different type of horror film. But anyway, you are not here to hear about my experiences of being in a Stephen King movie. Incubation is one of those things that is so simple that it's very easy to overcomplicate it. And I find that as magicians, as occultists, or whatever word that we want to use for who we are, we have a tendency to overcomplicate things. And I think a lot of this comes from the fact of that, well, the old books and all that things are very kind of complicated. And deliberately so, because it was trying to hide things or, you know, put blinds in, or it was written by people who didn't have the practical experience of what they were talking about and were merely writing or talking about, you know, from theory. So we have this idea that things have to be complicated. A second reason why we think things have to be complicated is of this whole kind of Protestant work ethic idea that we have in magic that has become quite prevalent, or at least seems to have become quite prevalent to me. It may be something that I've always been about. And what I'm talking about in that is that the idea of that if your magic isn't working, or if there's some sort of thing you're doing isn't working, then just to do more of it, that, you know, pure volume will break through, and the kind of, if you throw enough shit, some of it will stick. And while I do think and do agree that there is a practice element to magic, and there is a, you know, like a curve, a learning curve, and we start off with the success and we dive down into the actually having to do the work. I don't think that doing something over and over again is necessarily the thing that's going to get us where we want. And I don't think we have then also have this kind of idea of amassing techniques or different techniques, and well, if that doesn't work, on to the next technique, or add it, augment it, change it, you know, do it until we try to work, which is kind of the basis of chaos magic. But it's like that person who goes to all the new age kind of retreats and doesn't fully actually, you know, get involved in all of these things and just is looking for the next thing. So I feel there is many reasons why we could overcomplicate things, but incubation is so simple and it's so easy that we have to kind of force ourselves just to experience it or practice it in the way that it is without trying to add more to it or, you know, overcomplicate it. Peter Kingsley talks about it and describes it in numerous kind of accounts in his audio lectures. But towards the end in one of them, he talks about how he was brought and asked to go to this particular lecture and to give a talk on incubation. But he found that it's so simple that if he turned up and just said 3 lines, which is how he would describe incubation, he didn't think people would appreciate the length of or the brevity of his description. But incubation is quite simply what it is. It's lying down, closing your eyes, and dying. And it's the idea of the incubation, there's a number of ideas around it, but it's that it's the practice of dying before you die, so that by the time you get to your death, you know what it's about. But what it really is kind of initially used for was this idea that when all things had been when you've tried all things, when your problem can't be solved and you've done all of the things and you've gone to the, all of the places, that the final resolve, the final thing to do is just to lie down, close your eyes and die. And in a sense, kind of, I suppose that's kind of pointing at, in a sense, give up, be aware that you can't solve your problem and allow it to be opened up to the greater world. But again, that's kind of me overcomplicating it. That's me putting words into it. It's a stillness that we were after. We were all try to get to, we think that we have to do this thing through movement. We have to do things, we have to be at it. But it's like that the idea of incubation is you stop, you don't move, you still, and you allow, in a sense, stillness to take over. Now, there is this idea as well that what you're trying to do is, in a sense, and this is putting more into it than probably needs, but it's sinking down into the underworld, and that the underworld is not somewhere disattached from this world. It is from where this world emanates from. And so you sink down into the hands of Persephone, and who longs for you as much as you long for her. So basically the practice, it's very simple, is that lie down. It is a lie down meditation. Meditation may not be the correct word for it, but it's a lie down technique. Just close your eyes and then don't do anything. Allow. There's Alan Chapman talks about in his can I pronounce it right? Margia teachings, that hear just to hear, see just to see, and so it's kind of almost a bit, I suppose, in a sense, like the beginner's mind of Zen. Where you don't go trying to place these things into a cosmology that you've already established in yourself. So you go to, you need to read a new book and you try to piece the new information into the story you're already telling. So it's the idea is to come to this and hear what it is that's been said, or see what it is to be saying. So you lie down, you close your eyes, and you get what's presented to you, or you allow whatever it is, the stillness, to take you over. And that's, no more than that. It's deceivingly simple, and it's kind of why we can discount it or dismiss it is because it's something we do every single day. We all lie down and close our eyes and we go to sleep. So we have this with the thing we do. So we feel that we need to do more than this, that we're not doing enough, that it's not ideal enough or fulfilling enough or full enough to get us to whatever it is what we want to do, which may that be awakening or problem solving or whatever. Now, he says for the most part that you shouldn't come to this with any kind of agenda or motive or, with any sort of goal for the practice. He also says a couple of times in other places that you could do it, but he says, God help you. It's that to remember that these things, this technique is not for your spiritual evolution. It's not about you. It's not for you to... It's, we have this kind of thing where we think about spiritual evolution or whatever it is we're doing as it's mine. It's my, my awakening, my enlightenment, my spiritual path, my spiritual involvement, my insight, my magic, whatever. And the whole idea is it's not. This is in a sense the gods or the goddesses. You're doing it for them. You're doing it for creation, for eternity, for all the things. And your kind of thing is not part of it. It's not your spiritual ascent, your spiritual evolution. So you're doing it for creation, for whatever, without a goal. I think it is kind of the thing there, without wanting something out of it. And of course, that's another complication that we want to bring to it, is because we want something out of it. That's why are we doing these things if we're not going to get something out of it in a sort of a way. So the kind of suggestion would be to make sure that you don't bring any of your kind of prior stuff to it. You don't try and fit it into your own cosmology that you already have. You don't try to kind of hammer it, a square peg into a round hole or whatever. You just hear as if to hear and see as if to see, and you go with it. And it's the stillness, and from this stillness will come something. He talks about a story where he went to a particular place. And incubation was originally done in these kind of sacred places through the guidance of followers of Apollo, a particular type of kind of version of Apollo, though, and I'm not sure if I'll pronounce it right, but Apollo Ulius, which was the healer aspect of Apollo, but also the destroyer. And one of the guys, Kingsley's main kind of dudes that he talks about is Parmenides, and he would say that he has good archaeological evidence to prove that Parmenides was in fact one of these disciples or a priest of the Apollo Ulios lineage who would have practiced this incubation type technique. So these were done in kind of sacred spaces where you'd go to a holy place and just lie down, and it was seen as the last resort or whatever. And then whatever kind of visions or things that came from it would then be interpreted by the holy people or the priests of Apollo Ulios. So to do it, very simply, find somewhere where you can lie down, close your eyes and die. Very simple. We don't have any more complication than that. Stillness, do not move, do not bring anything to it, do not look for anything from it. Literally just lie down and close your eyes for the sake of doing it. I find it very good. I find it very helpful and very clearing, and I find it very hard to not do all the things that I'm warning you about, to not try and fit it into a cosmology, my own personal cosmology or my own story that I'm writing, to not look for something out of it, to not analyse it as I'm doing, to not overcomplicate it, to be lying there going, I really should be doing something else, this seems too simple. So I think with practice, hopefully I will get better at it. And again, there, look, ambition. I shouldn't have that. So as you can see, I'm falling for the folly of it all myself. So try it out yourself, see what you think about it, see how it compares to your other kind of meditative things, whatever. See if you can find usefulness in it, and see if you enjoy it in the way I enjoy it. And let me know if you do, and let me know your thoughts around it, and let me know what you think of the entire incubation thing. Maybe you know about incubation not from Peter Kingsley, and there's a different slant on it that you would like to share, or that kind of stuff. So, good people of the internet, until our next adventure, be well.